Hello, I'm meteorologist Bill Steffen. Thanks for joining me today. Happy month of May as we turn the page to a new month. We're in a rather showery pattern here as we start the month, but I think for the most part, we have some great weather ahead, especially for tulip time. We'll have more on that for you here in just a minute. I want to start out with a look at some low temperatures here Wednesday. Quite a wide spread across the area. Benton Harbor not lower than 42. Grand Rapids got down to 37. There were a few isolated pockets of frost around the city here. But boy, it got colder as you went north. Cadillac, 24 degrees. That's almost 10 degrees below the freezing mark. And look at Covington. That's a little tiny town. Hello, kitty. That's one of my kitties here that you might have just heard. 14 at Covington. That is about 55 miles west of Marquette. And that was the coldest temperature in the entire United States, excluding Alaska. And Tuesday morning, Painesdale still had 8 inches of snow on the ground. Didn't get an update there on Wednesday, but as of Tuesday morning, they still had over half a foot of snow up there, closing out the month of April. Well, here's a look at what's ahead here for us here in West Michigan. Should be another cool day at Lake Michigan with some showers about. These are pictures from the GLERL site. That's Great Lakes Environmental Research Lab there in Muskegon. A large ship heading through the channel there at Muskegon and a fishing boat that was out. Water temperature mid-lake at 40.1 degrees. So a little chilly to be jumping in the water out there, though a few people have. All right, let's take a look then at the headlines that we have for you here today. Showers are likely during the day today, especially here during the early morning. There'll be a chance for a thunderstorm, but we're not anticipating any severe weather or anything like that. There's a shower that could linger into at least Friday morning, slight chance for the afternoon, but timing on this is right. We should see mostly sunny skies here for Saturday afternoon and for all day Sunday, and dry and pleasant weather here for the early part of next week. We're going to take a little short break and thank our sponsors. We want to remind you that coming up, we'll take a look at where there's going to be severe weather over the next several days in the United States.
And if you love your pets as much as we love ours, we know that they can make a mess sometimes. But the good news is Complete Care Concierge LLC has you covered for your pets and for all the messes in life. They do home cleaning, apartments, condos. They can clean your business, your office. They can do one-time cleans. They can do on a repeat basis. Whatever you need, they can meet your needs and provide amazing service. 616-264-1397, and they serve all of West Michigan. So if you're wondering if you are in their service area, you are. 616-264-1397. And here's a word from Ace Handyman Services.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help. With Ace Handyman Services, our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware.
Tuesday was a big severe weather day across parts of the country. You can see there was a little bit of severe weather here in Michigan. This is an update to what we showed you last night. Every one of those blue dots represents a report of wind damage or wind gusts measured in excess of 58 miles an hour. There were 4 reported tornadoes, but they were all pretty small and minor compared to the large swaths of wind damage that occurred across the area and some very large hail down in Texas. We had reports of 583 reports of wind damage, and hardest hit was Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania, where they had, believe it or not, at one point in time, well over 250,000 customers without power 24 hours after the event. So they really were scrambling there to try and get things put back in shape. And you can see just a solid line of wind damage that plowed through that area. And look at what went on down in Texas, 5-inch diameter hail. That's 5 inches thick, Guthrie, Texas. And wind gusts there as high as 106 miles an hour at Seymour, Texas. So nothing much like that is expected here during the day today. Our severe weather outlook for today shows that we'll be seeing just a slight risk for severe thunderstorms. That's a level 2. But a large swath there, pretty much over the same area that got hit before. Western Pennsylvania could get crunched once again. And you can see that runs from Texas all the way up toward Canada there. And then we'll add one more day here and show you the outlook here as we go for Friday. You can see we've got a marginal risk of severe weather in Texas and in parts of Oklahoma, but certainly not near as great a threat as what we had here during the day on Tuesday. So let's take a look then at the rainfall across the country. And there's actually some rain that will be falling in each of the 50 states. You can see even in California, there'll be some showers almost down to the coastline there. Heaviest rain in that yellow color. And first of all, look up toward Michigan. You can see a little dot of yellow up there past Manistee. That's where they anticipate between 1 and 1.5 inches of rain over a 3-day period, which is basically going to be coming today and tomorrow. And a pretty solid area of heavier rain from Texas back to, Birmingham, Alabama, where they could get as much as an inch of rain from this. And that goes back up toward New England there. So a fairly wet pattern here as we head into the month of May. In terms of snowfall, not much out there, nothing in Michigan, but the mountainous areas out there continuing to see some snow, parts of Colorado, Wyoming, up toward the Montana area. Well, let's take a look now at some of the forecast here for today. We got 62 degrees for you for a high temperature, so it'll be on the mild side despite the showers that we'll have scattered about here. Chance of rain today is about 90%. It won't be raining the entire day, but this is probably a day you wouldn't mind dragging the umbrella around. Early morning, we're down in the mid-40s here. Humidity is around 80 to 90% during the day today, so a moist day. Winds will start out of the east-southeast and then switch to come out of the west-southwest at about 10 to 20 miles an hour, so it will get breezy here during the mid to late afternoon. So we'll take a look at some of the temperatures for the day today. A little bit warmer to the south. It could top 70 down toward the Michigan-Indiana border. But you can see temperatures today will only be in the 50s as you head north of Grand Rapids, 55 for Big Rapids, 54 for Ludington. And I would imagine up on Mackinac Island, temperature will probably struggle to even get past the mid-40s today. And then the forecast for tomorrow, another mostly cloudy day with a few scattered showers, just a little bit cooler. Temperatures at mid-afternoon would be in the mid-upper 50s around the Grand Rapids area. It could be low 50s around Ludington. I would imagine Friday afternoon, a few spots near the lake may actually hold in the upper 40s. And you can see the cooler air up in the UP, where temperatures there over much of the area will be in the low 40s. And we'll go one more day here into Saturday and show you temperatures around 60 or so in the afternoon. We do have a chance for a little scattered frost here Saturday morning. So again, if you've been running out to the greenhouse and grabbing something that might be frost sensitive, you'll certainly want to cover that up here Friday night, not tonight, but Friday night into early on Saturday. And after that, we got a pretty nice stretch of weather coming up. So here's the way it looks out to 5 days for you. Look for showers, maybe a thunder shower today. I think we can reach low to mid 60s, but temperatures vary from low 70s at the Indiana border to the 50s as you go north of Grand Rapids. We'll be in the 50s with a chance for showers again here on Friday. And some pretty nice weather coming our way. Early Saturday morning, we may be 40 in the city and 30s in the outlying areas here. Sunday looks pleasant. Temperatures here in the upper 30s early, but mid 60s late in the day. And Monday looking good too. So, of course, that's the start of tulip time over in the Holland area, and it should be a great start to tulip time. Most of next week looks partly to mostly sunny, dry, and mild. So make your plans accordingly and head down to tulip time. It should be great down there. Long-range outlook now is we've been showing you here almost every day because I've been thinking it's on the correct side here. Coolest temperatures relative to average will be down in Texas and Oklahoma, where it'll be raining on and off. But the warmest temperatures relative to average up across the Great Lakes and Northern Plain states, where there'll be some temperatures approaching 80 degrees. So a warm pattern up north like that. And in terms of rainfall, dry weather expected over the Great Lakes. So again, a good second week of month of May here for anything that's outdoors. And the area that will be above average in terms of rainfall will be in the Plain states west into the Rockies. Where there could be snow on the highest elevations of the Rockies and rain elsewhere. So all in all, kind of a drippy, dreary day today, but keep in mind that the timing on this is right. We should be headed toward.
All right, and it's time for today's news as of last night. All right, so we talked about Boyne Mountain that's going to be open this weekend. And a viewer said that Norway Mountain hopes to be open this weekend too. And they were talking about that on their Facebook, that they found some snow and they're going to try to push it all together so that they can have some stuff open this weekend too. So we wish them luck. And Bill, where's this picture taken? Because this is not either Boyne or Norway.
That looks like the homestead. And
Very
it looks
good.
like a picture that
How
you
did
took.
you know that?
I just had my memory is really weird. It remembers certain things and it's like song lyrics from the 60s that I haven't heard in 30 years and other things I forget.
Have you ever
I
been
look
there?
at it. And it was looking out over the bay there too. You got such
Yeah.
a nice view of the water there.
Yeah, we had season passes there one season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so May the 1st. Why do they call it May Day?
Oh, let's see. Mayday, 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 Mayday. I don't know.
So it was developed having to do with aviation. In England at the Croydon airport, they needed a term for help, and they chose Mayday because it sounded like, and I'm going to say this wrong, and I should have asked Dan because he speaks French, Made, which is French for help me. So that's how that became the distress signal Mayday that we know today.
Okay, and it's still used. Mayday is still used today, by the way.
So
Yeah.
happy May the 1st, everyone. May is probably my favorite month because it's the start of summer-ish and it's all still left.
Yeah, and it's not super hot yet. It's nice, and there aren't quite as many bugs as you might find at midsummer.
And let's get the serious topic out of the way. And since we're a very unofficial, unprofessional organization, we can just say whatever we want and have opinions. So the Christopher Schur trial is continuing in Grand Rapids, and that has gotten national coverage. And the sole issue is whether the Grand Rapids law enforcement officer was justified in using deadly force. So the defense continued their case today. And watching it, because I've watched several hours of it both days, I would summarize it as the state putting on the Michigan State Police investigators because they took over the case. And then as well as people familiar with the tasers. I'm not sure if they're from the taser manufacturing company. And they seem to offer a lot of hypotheticals about how things could have gone differently if different things had happened and if the officer had made different choices. And the defense strategy seems to be to put the Grand Rapids police officers on the stand who were involved along with the officer that's on trial to talk about what really happened and to try to rein the jury back in to the question being, did the officer have justification for what he did in this circumstance, regardless of the other things that could have been done? So I was most recently a defense attorney, so that's the hat that I've got on at the moment. I did do both at different parts in my career. But I think this might not end up being the outcome that the prosecution is hoping for if the defense can really get the jury to focus on what question they're answering. And I think it's very interesting that the prosecution isn't the ones calling the officers involved. It's the defense that believes that those officers are helpful to their side. And I'm not sure that that's the best look. So another thing that
watch
happened,
the trial.
I'm sorry?
Where can people watch the trial?
Oh, everybody's got it. MLive, WZZM. I saw it on WWMT. WZZM's got commentators. What I don't know, but I'm assuming. And there's somebody live streaming it that's an attorney that's live streaming it too. So the next time there's something like this, we're gonna have to do a live stream and we're gonna have to do commentary while it's going on, like the attorneys do on the YouTubes now.
Yeah, well, I would not know what I'm talking about. I would defer to you or somebody more knowledgeable than me.
Well, anyways, we hope that the jury can come to the right outcome. It's a terrible case for everyone involved, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Oh, and the other thing was the defense made a motion for a directed verdict, which is basically asking the judge to throw out the case and say that even in the light most favorable to the prosecution, no one could possibly find that he's guilty. And the court said no, 99.95% of the time they do, but it preserves the issue for appeal. It's something that the defense had to ask. It's no big deal. And then on they go to present their case.
Okay.
So that's what's going on with that. Okay, back to lighter topics. Lots of events going on. In Muskegon, the Muskegon Heritage Museum of Business and Industry is opening for the season tomorrow, and they've got a lot of the business and industrial history of Muskegon, including a whole bunch of stuff about Brunswick, and they didn't just make bowling pins and bowling equipment, but they've got that too.
Yes, but that's a very famous company from the Muskegon area, known pretty much throughout the whole United States.
Mm-hmm. So a wonderful way to celebrate Muskegon would be to stop by that museum.
Mhm.
And there's an event in Coopersville tomorrow at the library. Someone is going to be giving a talk on farming history in the region because the area northeast of Coopersville and northwest of Grand Rapids has a lot of farms, orchards, and markets. And they're going to talk about the history of that in the community.
Do you have a time on that?
No, I'm sure there is one and it's probably on their website.
Okay.
But that sounds fun. And then there's a wildflower walk at Mackinac Island State Park tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 p.m. And it's going to be about 1.5 miles with an expert. And the tradition comes from Henry Schoolcraft writing in his journal that he was looking for wildflowers on Mackinac Island with his children.
And you might need the umbrella if you're going to be on that hike or doing outdoor activities tomorrow in Michigan.
Mm-hmm. And I like to go to Mackinac Island in the fall, and it's always hit or miss on weather. Sometimes it's absolutely great, and sometimes it's not so great.
But whenever I seem to go there, the weather seems to be pretty good. And
Again,
in fact,
this is how your life
pretty much
goes.
all of our vacations. I mean,
Everything is just good when you're around. Like I said, they walk you over to the fancy pre-check line at the security in the London airport for no reason at all. Probably because you were a senior was probably the reason.
It could
but
be.
Still, good stuff just happens.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of Mackinac Island, I took this picture. This is from the Chippewa Hotel. Tell me about the clouds.
Wow, those look like mammatus clouds. They're associated sometimes with thunderstorms that are nearby. I assume that's a summer picture there. It can get a little breezy around those, but if those are truly mammatus clouds, you would not see a tornado coming from directly those type of clouds there, but there would be a pretty big thunderstorm nearby in some instances when you have those.
So are you a walk around Mackinac Island guy, or are you a take a carriage ride guy?
I like walking around. I've only walked around once. I walked around with Marie last year, and I walked the 8.2 miles around the island. And then I walked another 3 miles as we went to find a dark spot to view the northern lights.
Oh, very cool. Mom and I took a tandem bike around once, and that was a comedy of errors.
Oh, okay.
It was a little bit too tall for both of us, and it was no bueno.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've always enjoyed hiking. Of course, I'm a Boy Scout. I'm an Eagle Scout. Did a lot of hiking in my day, but I am getting older now, so sometimes the horse and buggy ride sounds like a better option, but I would not mind trying to attempt to go around the island one more time.
And what's your kind of fudge?
Oh, golly. Chocolate the last time I was there is what I ordered, but there's so many. Butter pecan is good. Mm-hmm.
Okay, on this day, 151 votes were cast in the first Grand Rapids village election. And then they eventually became a city in 1850. So it is the 75th birthday of Grand Rapids.
Wow.
Hey. I'm sorry, 175. Yes, 175. Sorry.
It's almost the 74th anniversary of Bill Steffen here. So yeah, I was going to say that would be interesting.
But still, 175. 1850. Mm-hmm. And on this day, so this is a cool one, May 1, 1888, the Grand Rapids Edison Light and Fuel Company began operating in Grand Rapids, and Thomas Edison's company was a part of the plant designs.
No kidding.
And that plant made city trolley cars and streetlights. I mean, they powered them.
Mm-hmm.
And the location where it is, Consumers Energy acquired it, then Kent County, then Vicinity Energy, and Vicinity Energy Grand Rapids is still there and going strong. And now they do a steam distribution system, and they're still there carrying on the legacy of Thomas Edison in our very own town.
Right. Sometimes if you go downtown in the wintertime, you can see the steam, maybe not just in the wintertime, sometimes at any time, you can see the steam coming out of some of the sewers in downtown Grand Rapids. And I remember walking down there the first time I saw that, and it was nighttime, and it just looked like Batman was about to appear. With the steam, floating by and whatnot. But that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And on this day in 1877, the U.S. Life Saving Service established a station on the north side of Grand Rapids. It was mostly a volunteer life-saving organization, and later it became part of the Coast Guard.
Coast Guard does a phenomenal job. There's a video on YouTube of some of the Coast Guard rescues that they have made, and boy, I tell you, you have really got to be brave to put yourself out trying to get somebody. There was a ship or a boat that was west of Seattle, and in gigantic waves, and they got down there and plucked the crew off and brought them to safety here. We certainly salute the Coast Guard. Grand Haven, of course, is the most dangerous beach in all of the Great Lakes, and that's because we have such crowds that come there. It's a very well used state park.
And on this day in Ludington in 1899, they issued their very first telephone directory with 240 listings. And before that, you could just pick up the phone and ask for the person or the business that you wanted to talk to. But once they had the directory, you had to tell them the number.
My mother, for a short time, was a telephone operator where you got to plug the phones in and everything. And that was in the Chicago area. So that was kind of interesting.
All right. No U.S. president has ever died in the month of May. What U.S. president lived the longest?
Jimmy Carter.
Very good. Lived to be 100.
Mm-hmm. That one I knew. And yeah, how old is Bill Clinton? Let's see. Yeah, he's
I'll
probably
give you a
close.
hint. He's older than you.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd probably guess like 76, 77, something like that.
Alex, do you have a guess?
75.
78.
Wow, he's getting older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How old is George W. Bush?
Probably close to my age. I guess 72.
Alex?
Also,
Alex says also 75.
Oh, he's
They're the same
78 too?
age. Mm-hmm. They're the same age.
Well, that's interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of go chronologically right there, so you'd assume that one is a little older than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, interesting.
And this is my cat ruining everything.
Yeah,
This is me trying to put the show together and my cat not having it.
my cat jumped on the computer yesterday, and I think it took me about 7-8 minutes to get it back.
All right, we'll see if we can get a kitty up here. The problem is it's a big jump up to the counter, and there's not really a good way to jump. They are pretty good jumpers. Here, sweetie.
I have one cat that's asleep on the sofa to my right, and I heard another one walking around here a minute ago.
All right, there she is. There's the troublemaker.
Hi, Rosie.
She doesn't care. She's got her treats.
We've mentioned this before. That was my mother's cat, and when she passed away, we drove down. Gail and I drove down to Tennessee, picked up the cat, and I think we kept the cat, and then you came down from Traverse City to pick it up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, I'm
And
so
he was
glad
a
Grandma
traveling cat.
left us this little disaster. Can you say hi to Michigan? Maybe. We're thinking about it. Yeah. She doesn't have a tail. We're not sure what happened to the tail, but she was found in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, and that I don't know if you know the story of that. My mother wanted a cat, but didn't want to get a cat because she was afraid that she'd step on the cat's tail and might trip and fall. So lo and behold, into the Humane Society down there, or the Animal Rescue, whatever it's called in Oak Ridge, is that came this cat without a tail.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother went, "How wonderful! I get a cat," and it was an adorable cat, just a perfect companion for my mother.
And she loves treats and disrupting work and causing trouble. And we fell off the balcony once, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, so she's lived in 3 different states.
Lived in 3 states. And we've learned since we moved to Alabama that geckos are friends, not food. Right? We're
Does she
thinking about
chase
that one. Yeah. Yeah, you would think the word would get out among the geckos that if you see a little orange tiger on the porch, not to go there.
Yeah. The other day, I think I mentioned it on the air. Two of my cats were in here and they were kind of fighting and wrestling around a little bit. And all of a sudden they stopped because they spotted a moth. And so they were jumping around trying to get the moth. But of course, the moth has wings, which allowed it to fly just above the cats. And the cat was a little frustrated about that. Never did get the moth, but and neither did I. The moth is still probably around here hanging out.
I remember a very funny blog post you did once about there being a bat in your house.
Oh, the bat thing?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I wish I had a copy of all of that. I could put all of that in a book because there were so many interesting things. The bat thing and the pelican attack in Florida was another funny one.
The pelican attack?
Yeah, when I was on the I'm on the pier and there's large turtles swimming underneath me and stingrays and just a wide variety of wildlife. And this pelican comes and lands about 6 feet away from me. So I get this stupid idea, but wouldn't it be interesting if I petted a pelican? And
why? Just
that
why?
did not go according to plan.
I'm sure it didn't.
Oh my. It was it was crazy.
Was Mom there to tell you this was a bad idea?
I think Mom was there, if I'm not mistaken. Mom stayed a distance back, but they're probably still cleaning up the mess that the pelican made on me and on the pier. And it was, and the pelican went away going ha 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 ha, ha like gotcha.
Wow.
Can't wait for the next victim to come by. But yeah, I wrote something up and it was humorous, and I wish I had a copy of that, but I don't have that anymore.
The sorority house in college got bats a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
It was not appreciated either time.
Does everybody know that I used to live in a sorority house legally? With
Everyone
50
knows. We've told that anecdote so many times. I think they've all got it.
No, okay. I was going to say that was how I got my room and board, and I had my tuition paid for a scholarship. So I was breaking even on college there.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll let you say goodnight.
All right. Well, it's going to be kind of a cloudy, dreary day today with some scattered showers out there. It might be worth dragging the rain gear or maybe an umbrella with you today. It doesn't happen all the time, but showers possible, especially here during the morning hours. And we could see as much as a half to 1 inch of rain across the area. So pretty good soaking. It's been dry around here, so we could use the rain a little bit. Have yourself a great day, and thanks for staying till the end and watching the video.